So the first technique is our emotion, okay? Our emotional response. So conquer your interview nerve. So when you get nervous, and you will be, it's very natural for you to be nervous in a very high-stress interview situation. So how do you take care of that? It's not something that, if I give you a tip, just say that, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, just breathe in, breathe out. You're not going to feel that nervousness goes away because it's not that simple. So you have to start dealing with your mind. You have to start thinking. You have to calming yourself down. So breathing is one technique, okay? Slow breathing, deeper breathing, that's one technique. But you have to start preparing yourself mentally. So you get that fear, but what's that fear really about? What are we talking about when we talk about fear? Fear is like anxiety, right? That's like when you're afraid of something. But just think about fear this way. Fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Okay, so it's like, you get that feelings like, so what if they think I'm stupid? What if they think I'm not good enough? So usually this fear comes from your idea about how other people will judge you. That's false evidence. You don't know what they're thinking. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but that's not what they are thinking. Their thinking is they're trying to find the best candidates they can to fill the position. But what you're thinking is like, do I look good? Okay, should I say this? Should I say that? So you're only projecting yourself in the future. Okay, so you're thinking in the future. What if? Those what if has not happened yet. So those are false evidence appearing real. So they look real to you. Oh, they're going to think I'm stupid, okay? Or, they're going to think that I don't know anything about this job. But you don't know that, okay? So stop thinking about that. Fear is an illusion. Sometimes we fabricate it. We make it up, okay? We make up this fear in our own minds and pretend it's real. But for you, what's the most important mindset before you walk into the interview or when you're preparing for the interview? Okay, so you have to think about yourself this way, okay? And I don't want you to look for your career to aim high. Like when you have no experiences, but you try to get a job that has you are very, very least qualified for, okay? So for example, that you have no engineering or software development experiences, but you'd like to play video games, so you apply for, video game software designer, but you don't know what's going on in that industry. Then don't do that. You have to start from, building your career. Okay, unless they're especially talented in those fields, even without the proper education, you can give it a shot. But, if you know nothing about the things that the job that you're trying to apply for, just don't waste each other's time. Start building your careers to, a more logical process. Okay, this is what I'm saying. But this fear comes from thinking about that you are not good enough. But do you feel like you're really not good enough? Do you have all the skills and qualifications for the job? Are you the right person? Do you have the right characters to be in a team? If you feel like you are good, okay? If you feel like you're good, you should never feel that fear, okay? You have to start adjusting your mindset. But if you feel like you're not good enough, you have to start thinking about why you feel you're not good enough. Is there any way that you can build your confidence? You can build your skills. You can build your qualification, okay? So start thinking about that. But you have every qualification that's described in the job description. Then prepare yourself mentally, okay? And start thinking about what you have that the company really, really need. If you can find that position, you are set. The next thing is that your performance in the interview. So you have to start, preparing yourself through the lessons that we have covered in the previous, classes. So let's keep going. All right. So how do you take away the fear? You have to plan ahead. And in some classes that I mentioned like several times, 6 months is an ideal time to prepare for an interview. Not 2 weeks, not 3 weeks, not even 1 month. Okay, 6 months is an ideal time for you to really look into your career path and then start putting together all the qualifications, all the skills, all the achievements that you have done in the previous academic career as a student or any other contributions that you have made. So plan ahead, doing research, and start preparing. Okay, so plan ahead will take away the fear because when you know that you are well prepared, it's most likely, okay, you are most likely to feel comfortable because you know all the information you need to convey in a job interview. And then you have to focus on the moment. If you have something worth sharing in a job interview, you will not feel nervous because you have that passion and you prepared and your answer does not sound rehearsed. So you won't sound like a robot. So you focus on now because what you are about to tell the interviewer is so valuable to yourself. Then you focus on the present. But what you're going to say may not worth anything to the interviewer. That's when you get nervous. That's when you feel like they're judging you. Okay, so that's a different thing. So for example, like kids after school, when they go home, and then they just want to tell you everything about what happened in the school. That's the kind of feelings. Like, Mom, did you know what happened in the school? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're so passionate about sharing a story with their parents, and then they just won't stop showing that enthusiasm. Okay, that's the type of emotion that you need to find in a job interview. Okay, so focus on the present time. When you're sitting in the interview room in front of your interviewer, you have something to share. Focus on that moment. And then take your time. It does not have to be fast. Okay, even though each response should be 30 seconds to 3 minutes. But slow down, take your time. Don't be nervous. Don't rush through everything. Okay? All right, technique number 2. Okay, thorough research prior to the interview. Okay, so research has to be done early. Not the day before, not a week before, but months before the interview. So think about this. Doing research is easy. You just have to get on Google and start typing, and you'll get a whole bunch of information. But what are you looking for? Are you going to spend hours just to look up, the company website? So what are you looking for in this technique? Okay, so nail your interview from the start. So when you take time to research, not only will you get a better feel of what the company is looking for and how you will fit in, it will also help you stand out from other candidates. All right, so you will find out what the company is looking for. Okay, for sure, that's easy. Because when the job description stated, okay, I want this position, so this position's responsibilities are A, B, C, D. All right, so those are the things that they're looking for. But what kind of person are they looking for? Okay, what kind of team player are they looking for? You really have to go to the company website to find out. But where? Okay, think about it. Where? So if you have attended my other classes, you would know where. Mission statement, vision, Okay, so go to a company website, look for their mission statement and their company vision. Okay, they'll tell you what kind of company it is, what kind of culture it has. Okay? And when you know the culture, when you know what they're looking for, then you can start building your brand based on what they need. Okay? But I don't mean lying. Okay? So if you're looking for example, friendly professional, like let's say if it's a company slogan, they're looking for someone who's friendly. Are you friendly? Oh yeah, of course, I'm very friendly. Then how do you make that part of your personality shine through? Okay? So when you work on that, you will stand out. Okay, so the first thing is to go through the company website. So I talked about this. Okay, talk about the company, maybe participation to charity events. Okay, have they helped other nonprofit organizations? Maybe they go out to clean the beaches. Okay, to spend time with homeless people. Okay, so you will know what kind of value the company has through their website because they're going to have updates, they're going to have news that you can find. But you know, if it's a company that does not update their information, probably they would not look for international people with international or global views. Okay, which means that you know, it might not be the company that has the global culture. Okay, so. But company website will give you a lot of information on what the company stands for, what the company is about, the culture, the team. Very important to look it up. And next thing is to look for major competitors. Okay, so if it's a larger scale company, they're going to have competitors. And what the competitors are doing, those are something that you have to be aware of. It's something that you have to think about it as a strategy when you mention that other competitors are doing this. And for my role, I can beat the competitors by doing this and that. Okay, so you will position yourself as a problem solver. Okay, because you know what's going on and you know what the company needs. And then industry. Okay, so you look through the competitors, now you have to look at the industries. So you have to start finding the trends. Maybe the industry has a trend of shifting towards artificial intelligence or something, and you can mention that and mention your background that makes you qualify. So those are the three key areas that you have to do your research. Company website, major competitors, and industry. Very simple. Focus on key information before you start your research so you don't spend time wandering on the internet and then you start looking for maybe reading the news, checking out your Facebook page or something, then you ended up spending 5 hours looking for nothing. So have a focus and spend 1 hour for each topic. That's all you need. And then pull out all the key information and try to incorporate them into your interview response. Okay, so simple as that. Do research. Technique number 3, review the most common interview questions. It's not the only way. A lot of people think this is the only preparation they have to do to prepare for interview questions. So they go on Google, start looking for a list of common interview questions. But it's not the only way. It's important for sure, but don't get like a sample answer and try to memorize them. Okay, it's not the best way because guess what? If you can find answers on Google, what do you think other people are doing? You know, other people would be memorizing the same thing, especially tell me about yourself question. You know, when you type in like an interview question, tell me about yourself, you get hundreds of sample answers. But other people will be getting the same thing too, but how do you position yourself as a unique professional? You really have to start thinking about that. So it's prepare in advance. It's a good thing. it's always important to be prepared to respond effectively to the question that employer typically asks. Since these questions are so common, hiring managers will expect you to be able to answer them smoothly without hesitation. Okay? Oftentimes, people focus on smoothly without hesitation. So you get some kind of typical response. When people ask you something, tell me about your greatest strength. And then some people will be, because they practice so much in a short period of time, their response, and they never really practice with someone who's been in a job before, or someone who has a good English level, for example. Okay, so typical response might sound like this. That is a great question. My greatest weakness or my greatest strength is blah, 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 blah. Your voice is flat. Okay, that is a great question. Your voice is flat. What's great about this question, I cannot tell from your voice. At least play with your tone of voice. That is a great question. Thank you for asking me that. Then you can feel like, oh, this, you're saying it because you really feel like it's a great question. But if you responded smoothly, okay, no hesitation, that's the only thing you're looking for. You're going to, recite the things that you memorize with no feelings, and that's bad, okay? It just makes the hiring manager feel like this person is very cold, okay? So don't memorize answers. You can memorize the outline and respond through your natural language with feelings, okay? So use outline, not the whole, for some of you might be really good at memorizing things, but I'm not. So having outline actually helped me to memorize things because I just have to remember the framework, important key points, but I don't have to memorize every word in the response, okay? What if you just memorize the wrong part? If you part A is from this question, part B is from that question, and somehow you got too nervous, you combine these two and your answer makes no sense. That would be a disaster. So think about the outline. Think about structure. What kind of structure have we talked about? I'll walk you through that, the structure, just do some quick reviews. Won't get into details, but just to bring back your memories. Okay, so outline important, structure important, and rehearse important. Of course, you always have to practice, but when you rehearse in a very short period of time, you are not going to be prepared for it. Okay, so your answer would sound very dead, very dry. Okay, won't be effective. So rehearse often. Make your response perfect.